lots of people hide.
Yeah, but that's gonna be.
So, hello, welcome. So let's start with the operator. I normally just do like I started from like the last operator and I just worked my way up to the first one because I feel like going from like the first one to the last one is like, you know, it's like already like building the top of the building and building the base later. Not fun. So let's just get this thing to actually be what we want first. So typically for this thing, I just do like ADSR to kind of like just match like the volume of what things I want to do.
No, it stopped recording. No.
No.
Don't worry. I got my recording.
Okay, good, thank you. Post it in Discord at the end. I will start recording again though, just in case yours corrupts.
Will fucking proof.
Digital middle finger from the computer gods.
So, anyways, so just like since I'm using 2 operator here, like the OPL like nugget or whatever, there's only like 4 sliders that you have to care about. Not 4, but like this. There's only the 4 main ones you have to care. It's just like ADSR, you probably know them already. Attack, decay, sustain, release, and attack. It's just
So
like
you're not going to talk about the stuff that's only on the 4-op.
No, I'll talk about that later, but it's gonna be like an exclusive, like 4 operator exclusive features or whatever, because
it's a good starting point.
To be fair, this thing is like stupid. Like the OPL is stupid, yeah. But like it's the basic, like it's the bare basics of how like Yamaha FM chips work. So I'm just starting with this. So like for this, you just start with like attack, kind of like. So in Furnace is very weird. Like the lower the number, like you see this, like the longer like anything. In case like you set attack to 1, it's going to be a very long ass attack.
Normally it's the other way around.
Yeah, it's weird because instant. I think that's just how the register is. I don't know the specifics. The case is the same thing, like. Yeah, that so sustain like 0 to 15 is it's basically just a sustain level. You 0 is just, but okay. So I gotta explain this. This is actually very weird. So anytime you use like sustain, without the sustain tick, this is very, very weird. So you don't have sustain tick on, and you use the sustain slider. It's basically like. The 4 operator like decay 2, like release will act like decay 2. It will be something like this. So
It picks up from where the reverb, the release left off.
Yeah, but like so I'm not even holding the note at all. I'm just holding the note, and this is not me holding because release is still release. So just release at the same rate. So. Basically, if you don't take the sustain, it will basically like release immediately when it hits sustain level. No matter what you do, but if you take sustain, we just stay at that volume when you still have the note on, and when it's off, you just release like that.
That sounds
it's
useful.
releasier
than the sound, right?
That is interesting.
Yeah.
That's. But yeah, so. If you want to have like your stays at like certain volume, but you still also want to take this thing, please. You don't want to use macros for this. It's like an edge use case, honestly, for macros. But if you just also like.
Does anybody actually use the macros?
I don't understand macros.
Coming from Family Tracker, I was pretty used to the macros, so I went to look at that and my brain melted.
Okay, so that's all for like volume related stuff, but I'm just gonna explain all the other settings here too. So this is the waveform selector, but it's useless because the OPO1, like the 3526 this thing, it only has sine, so it's just sine.
Yes! Just like my Yamaha Reface CS.
Do you want sine, or sine?
Yeah, you want sine or more sine.
Sinuses.
The waveform selector, it's the slider. it has up to 8 waveforms. If you use the OPO3, it has all 8. But if you use the OPO2, it only has like the first 4, which is these 4. Yeah. So AM, it's just amplitude modulation. It's just like you could call it tremolo, I guess. Yeah, you see how the scope is like slightly shaking?
Yeah.
Vibrato is vibrato.
Yeah.
Vibrato is vibrato. And scale is scale. This is the same thing as envelope key scaling on 4 operator chips. So it will scale the envelope speed depending on what node you're at, what node you're on. So the lower the node, when you go high, it just cuts off very fast like this. You would notice.
So kind of like the actual like real instruments.
Yeah, it's basically like
like
scale,
like
the
a
scale
piano.
parameter, and also level scaling is like one of the key to try do like a very dynamic instrument on without like fuzzing stupid parameter of like fuckery or whatever. but that's like the typical stuff. So let's get into funny modulation.
Oh boy.
Now it's real FM.
Now it's real shit.
Now we're
Hell
getting
yeah.
to the good stuff.
Okay, so let's start this. So this is very simple. TL is just total level. So if your total level is set to max, it will modulate the carrier, which is operator 2 at like maximum like whatever. It just sound weird. And if you just lowered it down to something like around here, it would sound like softer. It's the slider is basically like you can see it like
And at the bottom is just
like
sine.
soft. Yeah, so how soft or how hard do you want to fuck the sine wave? And that's it. And you could also use the ADSR, which would basically like it just kind of makes like the instrument like vary like how hard, like it can change how soft or how hard the modulation would be. That sounds so raw or whatever.
Can you make it an LFO?
Oh, an alpha? That you have to use a macro for that.
It's in the macros.
But you could use like the tremolo and the vibratos, which could kind of make it like a little bit more lively or whatever. Here's how I like to set it up though, to make like the pass like has like pseudo chorus kind of sound that British used to always have, you know. That's kind of how I get like to get a sound like moving, you know. If you get what I mean. Dude, I'm a bad teacher.
Reese bass.
So now this is basic. So let's get to the more funny stuff. So this is feedback. Feedback is basically how many times you want the modulator to modulate itself over and over, like self-modulation, you know. So for feedback 0, it means like operator 1 will modulate. If you set feedback to 7, it will modulate itself 7 before. It would try to like modify itself 7 times to operator 2, so it will sound slightly sharper.
Slightly.
So this is like how hard you like mess the carrier. This is basically how hard.
I just heard this is basically how hard, and then it cut off afterwards.
It's literally just white noise.
It's like
max.
What? If you set
both max, it's literally just white noise.
This is how hard.
Yes, this is hard. But the thing is, if you set feedback and the TL level to be too high, it will basically turn the waveform to white noise like this. Which is useful in some cases, but most of the time you would like to avoid getting like feedback artifacts. Something like this. Like this is like I'd say like it's like the Goldilocks zone. It's like perfect balance of getting a little bit like gritty, but not too noisy. You kind of hear like and see like the distortion like slightly, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason.
The rees, the rees.
I think one of my main challenges coming to this from Fanny Tracker is that I got used to using noise for all the percussion, because that's like the only thing I had besides DPCM.
You could also use noise too. Like, let me make a quick FM drum. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Makes a good hi-hat.
Yes, indeed. Oh yeah, also multiplier is basically like, so you know how like each operator is like its own like frequency or whatever. You could like multiplier basically like change the frequency like in harmonics, it says. So just have a listen. The always stupid in between in this range. It's stupid. It's cheap. Something like that. But whenever you like when you FM another wave with different it would sound weird, like, but when you do it in harmonics it will sound perfect, and it can basically give you a very nice even more tonal play with.
Ooh.
And you could also do the same with carrier, with like make the carrier like pitch very high, something like this. It sounds like a bird.
Sounds like the Fantasy Zone whistle.
Yeah.
Some earthbound shit.
And
Yeah,
you don't really have to stick to a specific like multiplier setting. You could just basically like put random shit and it just works, honestly.
You guys just make a
I have
bell.
a metal clang sound to use in your.
God.
Oh no, that's a cowbell.
Well,
Just
Cowbell.
spontaneously
More
made a
cowbell.
cowbell out of nowhere. It's crazy.
Most of the time you would accidentally made like fart sounds, bell sounds, maybe some noise. That's basically the cycle of FM patch making. You just make the most random shit before you get to whatever you want.
pretty much. You
like
just trial and error your way.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so here's a simple kick drum. Banger. And here's a simple snare, I guess. Something like that, man. I'm just doing like the bare basics. This was like that's it. That's the funny tutorial.
nah, baby, no.
But it's not just the patch itself that you can make to sound good. You can have like bad patch, but you can also like do some sort of like articulation, like changing the pitch and volume of the patch to kind of make it like very expressive. You can do that, and if you do it well, it basically sounds like heaven. So let me just pitch the kick drum down. It would sound more punchy. Something like this, yeah. I don't think there's more to talk about the FM part, but let's get to the specifics of the 4-operator garbage.
Oh,
Real shit.
Oh god. Oh,
I
this is
feel like
gonna be
maybe
so
I should
hard.
record this in like a separate video.
Yes, please do so.
I will do that as well.
Alright, I'm gonna
Yes.
start recording.
Shows them like.
Oh, that's probably your settings. My settings like very. Oh no, it's just a stock setting without.
Oh, that's in
round
the settings. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's in the settings. You can change that. Anyway, here's the funny. Welcome to the 4-operator version. Now this is going to fucking suck.
Yay.
Whatever. Okay, so now there's more things. There's an extra slider. Whoa. And there's
no.
no more.
There's two
there's
decay sliders. What do I do?
I'll explain this. Okay, so there's no more
Not even
sustained
understand.
ticks like the OPO. Now it's basically but I'll tell you that decay to set to 0 is the same thing as like ticking the sustain, which is basically hold the volume like this. Yeah, that's it. And decay 2 is like a secondary decay after like sustain. So the first decay just start from the max volume, but decay 2 will start from whatever the fuck your sustain volume is. Let me set like the envelope really fast on the first one, like this. But like make the decay on the same rate. So you kind of see that, right?
Yeah.
How like after you hit like the sustain level, it just slowly it would just go slower because the decay 2 is set higher. And you don't have to fuck with the release to actually have like a release on your operator.
Woohoo!
Release and fake release.
Yes. Okay, anyway.
What's in the Camellia
So-
server?
Scare.
Using from previous 2 operator, you could start it off. Like I said, I would suggest starting from like the last operator and work your way up, because it's like building the base of a building before building the top, finishing the top. That's my analogy, at least. That's how I do it. But you know, your mileage may vary, or whatever the fuck it is. But now there's also extra stuff. So you see this detune slider?
Mhm.
That's like well, so normally when normally the operator will be like whatever the fuck pitch it is, but detune will add a cent or add like a little bit more, like maybe like a cent or two to the operator. And when you do that, you kind of get this interesting morph effect on the wave. You see here, like that.
Mm.
That's one neat thing about D2. Just like it can give you like a fake chorus effect without actually
Smoothing.
having chorus. Yes, but now you have 2 more operators to work with. So let's start with this thing. So what this does is the now operator 2 also modulates operator 3 before modulating operator 4. It's like now it's just like operating modulating each other. Like the 2 goes to 3, 3 goes to 4. You can look at the diagram. Something like that.
Wait, that sounded like the Bart Simpson sound. You know the one, the
Yes!
Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on.
I just need to make it go wah.
Oops. But that's basically just 4 operators. Just you kind of just modulate demodulators too. So modulator waveform might also sound it will sound way more weird, and it will also be way easier to get lost. But I can assure you, there's nothing worse than just getting pure noise out of your patch. That's the worst thing that could happen. You just get like white noise. You just like get blast your ear by this. You get like fucking sonic spinball options, Tesla coil
It
guitar,
really is
whatever.
Bart Simpson.
Just like just something like that.
Ouch.
That's not the worst. The worst is this. You can't even make it out, but here's
What?
one specific
What
thing.
was
If your patch starting to get like a little bit too noisy, this is the golden tip. You reduce the operator's total level. Don't add more. That's the recipe for disaster. And if you ask me like what operator should I reduce to kind of like mitigate like the noise funny, it depends on the algorithm, which I'll go through again later. But you would typically want to reduce like the first modulator that goes to the carrier. For this case, like the first modulator goes through the carrier. In this case, operator 3. And if your patch gets noisy like this, you can just reduce the operator G's total level to like something like around here, like very low. It will sound a bit more bearable, and you can kind of fix your way out of that. But okay, this is the funny part. This is algorithms. You don't have like just like one straight way to modulate now. You also have like 6 different ways. 6 more actually. So algorithm 0 is basically just 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. It's just like
You just go in a straight line.
every operator is going in a straight line, yes. So for algorithm 1 now, operator 1 and operator 2 modulates operator 3, but operator 1 didn't interact with. You know, I'm just gonna shorten to op, yeah. Because op 1 doesn't like mess with op 2, so it's just like you could kind of layer stuff with this. So
Funky.
basically, for algorithm 1, you could have like op 1 modulate op 3 to be like something like this. And for op 2 you can have like random shit like something like this. And when you turn all of them together, it will combine to have like both the sharp characteristics of op 1 modulating op 3 and also the funniness of operator 2. So it will sound like both sharp and also weird at the same time. I don't have the better words for that. I'm very sorry. For algorithm 2, operator 1 just skips straight to operator 4. This is basically like flashback to OPL 1. You just 2 operator first, and you also have like these 3 operator modulation. So something like that. It's so each time you see like split modulators going into the same carrier, it's like what the so it's like when you combine like 2 modulators together, it will basically like add more things to the sound. It's like the worst way to explain it. And okay, so now this is like the easy zone. I don't think you don't have to stress it over. So for algorithm 4, it's basically two operator modulation. So you can have like
Oi.
Crazy.
you can have something like this, and it basically outputs to the different ones. So operator 2 is not modulating 4; it's like different output. And so for the bottom operator, you can have like some funny shit like this. And when you combine together, it's like adding stuff together. It's like how you like it's basically like you have 2 channels. Yeah, like there's no like weird stuff. Oh, this one is weird.
That's when you have like one operator
This one is like
feeding into
operator 1.
3 others.
Operator 1
Diamond.
just routes to every operator. So basically,
Just
operator 1 is modulating everything except it's. And when you combine together, it's you can kind of get weird results with this, but it's very
that actually
nasty.
sounds pretty nice.
Yeah.
And operator 6 is very simple from the diagram. So it's operator 1 modulating 2, and 3 and 4 is just pure sine waves.
Wait, there's like actual waveforms this time. Is it just sine waves?
Yeah,
Still?
the 2612 only has sine wave. Actually, anything in the OPN line can only do sine wave FM.
Damn.
Oh, I
That's
see.
that's the design of the ship, yeah. And algorithm server is just like everything is sine, go wild. And this is and okay, so there's like certain guidelines I have like in mind when I'm trying to make a specific instrument with like each algorithm. So let's start with algorithm 7. Organs. Just like, you know, like organs.
Ah, hint of light. The sine waves that like.
You know, like how like the Hammond organs, like you know those big one with like those funny rotary speakers, like the wow 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 wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically that. But instead of like having like too many sine waves, you basically have 4. But here's the iconic pad. You know you know the M1 organ, right? This is something like that.
Heck yeah. The organ.
Yes, the organ.
The organ.
So that's operator 7. Algorithm 6. This one is the weird one because you have like one cool channel and the two is just sine waves. I don't really have like specific use case with it. I just do whatever with like other things, not operator 6. Operator 5, I've never used this. It just sounds weird for me. I don't use it. So operator 4, this one is very cool because you can kind of like have like a very like actual chorus effect with this because you can have like the same sound like overlay each other but also detune. It's an actual chorus effect and not like fake or whatever. You can kind of hear it, right?
Yeah.
But here's the funny quirk that the 26 tool can do. So when you increase the multiplier and with the detune parameter, it also kind of increases the sense, so you kind of have like a stronger like chorus effect.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's a hidden trick, by the way.
Whoa.
And yes, that's algorithm 4. 3 is, I don't know, like these 4 you can kind of like swap between like each other because it kind of gives out the same result. Like like you can get like very complex sound with these. But I typically use algorithm 2 because it's you can kind of get like very cool sounds with it. That's I think that's
I
some
like
of the
the
thing
metal sheet noise.
Yes.
Very nice.
I was trying to play the silliest bass line.
Actually, I think I could really.
It actually reminded me of that old
I could
pop
use
song.
that one.
Don't.
I might end up using that specific. Shit, I think my Wi-Fi dropped for a second.
No, it's happening on my end as well. I think something happened to Abstract.
Oh no. Did he crash? Oh, I hope he didn't crash again.
Again? What do you mean again?
It's dead.
Well, he crashed earlier.
Yep. Loading screen. If Abstract comes back, tell him I went to the bathroom.
Right?